What a man needs to know about whether or not he's attracted to a woman, he can oftentimes tell just by looking at her. Where women, what they need to know is this person going to be a provider? And you cannot tell that up front. That is demonstrated over time.
Blaine Anderson earned a deal on Shark Tank from Mark Cuban and then walked away from it. She's now one of the world's top matchmakers and dating coaches, having helped over 7,000 men build real relationships. What she knows about what women actually want is not what you were told.
If the reason that you are name dropping, flexing your Rolex, and you are alluding to how much money you make is because you want to impress her, the underlying emotion is, I don't think I'm good enough. And if that's how you feel, she's very unlikely to be attracted to you, because she is going to sense that you put her on a pedestal, that she's not dating up if she's dating you. And that's gonna be a turnoff. You had access to like that one really hot girl in your town. Now every hot girl from every town across the entire world has a platform on Instagram, where you have this illusion that you have access to those people, especially with AI now. She doesn't even look like that. Maybe she doesn't even exist.
Right.
Like, she's AI. Literally, my friends and I are the only people at a bar who approach other people and talk to other people. It's terrible for society, great for us, because the fact that we're even doing it sets us so far apart from the norm. Literally, nobody does it.
So you've helped over 7,000 men optimize and unlock their dating lives. Why do you think so many high-performing men struggle to transfer their success with career into their love life?
Yeah, that's a great question. It comes down to a lot of the skills you need to be successful in your career do not translate to your love life. And oftentimes, if you try to apply the things that made you good in your career to your love life, it will actually make your love life worse. Take really quick responsiveness, for example. In business, you want to be the first to reply. You want to be really on top of your potential customers or your current customers, making sure you're always getting back to them the second they, engage with you. And that's going to be great for your business. It's going to help you grow. It's going to help you retain customers. If you do that with women, you're going to scare them off. You're going to come off needy. You're going to come off overinvested, and women aren't going to be into it.
Yeah, I think men in general, we're very logical and analytical as well in terms of how we think about pretty much everything. And we think women also think the same way, but obviously it's very much more emotional based. And you take someone that's like really successful, that's how they got there, right? Like through being disciplined, hardworking, all that stuff. Talk to me about how attraction in general evolved differently for women versus how men usually find attraction.
Yeah. So attraction for men and women, as you are alluding to, is quite different. And you can trace that back to evolutionary biology, where what a man needs to know about whether or not he's attracted to a woman or essentially wants to mate with a woman, he can oftentimes tell just by looking at her, because the ultimate goal is reproduction, to multiply. Okay, does she look healthy? Is her skin glowing? Does she have nice hair? Does she have a nice smile, nice mouth, teeth? Is she in shape? Basically, is she physically attractive? And whether you're thinking about caveman days or now, that is the primary mode that men at least initially develop attraction through. Where women, looking back at, let's say, caveman days, what they need to know is this person going to be a provider? If I procreate with this person and I take on the cost of being pregnant, of having a baby, that's potentially dangerous. I'm putting myself at a huge disadvantage of survival. Is this person going to be able to take care of me? And you cannot tell that up front. That is demonstrated over time. So what women care about when it comes to attraction is more, how does this person make me feel? Is this person going to be a reliable long-term partner? And you still see that today with women. I see that in my business all the time. Women are going to be much more flexible on the physical criteria they seek in a man if he makes up for it with how he makes them feel.
Yeah, and I think that was proved by the late Helen Fisher, who passed away, who was an anthropologist, and she did her famous study was she did an fMRI of couples that were in love, And she analyzed what parts of their brains would light up for men and women. And it's exactly what you said, which is for men, the visual stimuli was stimulated because all we care about is the fertility from a evolutionary perspective. And for women, it was around more memory. So it was context and behavioral based, because women, from looking at a man, can't tell just from how they look whether he's going to be a good husband or not, because there's so many factors of a good husband. So because of that, women usually go after, memory, previous history with them, how they behave, cues of social status, and so forth. So I think it really speaks to what you were saying. So does that mean then men should kind of unlearn? Because I think men probably look at what they're attracted to or how they feel attraction and then assume women also do the same, which is natural, but it's definitely not, right?
Yeah. So what I would say is how you look still matters, but it's more about like, do you meet table stakes? Are you relatively in shape? Are you well groomed? Or do you have yourself put together? Then do you look like a GQ model? Do you look like a bodybuilder? Do you like go to the extreme in those categories? If you're not distractingly like off base in one of your physical criterias or areas, then you're probably okay for attracting most women. What I will say, which I think is interesting though, is I do think that social media is changing this slightly. And I think the fundamentals of everything we both just said are still accurate. And I see this time and time again with my matchmaking business. Women are much more likely to take a date once they hear about a guy's personality, even if they're like, oh, he's not like typically my physical type, but like based on what you said, like I'm down to meet him. Where guys, if they don't like the woman's photo, it's like a no every time basically. But
So
I
shallow.
do think women, because of social media, are becoming caught up with the man's physical looks. And I think that is a byproduct of us just spending so much time on social media and seeing so many quote good looking people that we think like, oh, and this goes for men and women. There's so many people out there that look this way because that's your algorithm knows what you want to see and it gives you a lot of it. So I deserve somebody that looks that way. I'm, quote, settling if I accept somebody who doesn't fit exactly this, because really there's so many of them. I see them on social media all the time. Or the other thing that social media is doing is making women care about things, or not making women, and this is like obviously not for everybody, but it's acting like, okay, height. Oh, I should care about height because all of these other women on social media are caring about height, and everyone says 6'4" and blue eyes and finance and trust fund. And so like these must be the things that are important because like that's what everybody else wants. And it's like you actually wouldn't have cared about those things because then none of those things are indicators of a quality husband if you hadn't spent the last like 6 months watching viral reels about how you should want a tall guy.
Right. Yeah, it does change. And I also wonder if another factor is, when we look at the cavemen, the rights of women and the roles that women and men had were completely different. Yeah. Whereas these days, women are also more independent. They're earning, they're financially successful. And I wonder if that's also adapting in terms of what they look for. I mean, you're a very successful woman and you have friends that are very successful. Perhaps you're not just trying to optimize for a man that has a lot of money, whereas perhaps before that was more the case. And now it's a bit more adaptive in terms of who can play that equal partner.
Yeah, I definitely think the fact that women can have basically everything that they may desire without a partner changes what they look for. So they don't, like you alluded to, they don't need somebody to provide for them financially. They don't need somebody to take care of them. They don't even need somebody to have a baby if they don't want to. So I think that does change. Okay, I need less of a, financial provider and I want more of a partner who I can have fun with and trust and build a life with. So I think it does change what people are looking for. But I think there's always going to be people who seek out partners for their status or their financial gain or whatnot.
What are some of these big mistakes you think people or men particularly are making when it comes to making women lose attraction for them?
Up front or like as they get to know them or either?
Both. Because you could do a great job first and then over time as the woman gets to know you better, you could also lose attraction.
Yeah,
So it's
well, so
equal.
this one applies to both upfront and later, but it can kind of manifest at different points for different people, but not having a life, hobbies, interest, friends outside the relationship. So it's going to be really hard to get into a relationship if you don't have interests or hobbies. If you're just like all you do is go to work and go home and maybe you go to the gym, but you don't have anything that you're passionate about that excites you, like that's really unattractive to women. I had a consultation call with a potential matchmaking client the other day, and part of my intake form is asking, like, what are your hobbies? What are your interests? And he'd put stand-up paddleboarding, surfing, running. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, we get on the call, we start talking about it. I'm like, so like, you like to surf? And he kind of like, looks, yeah, like looks away. And I'm like, and stand-up paddleboard? He's like, yep. And I'm like, tell me more. My antennas go up. No, he's been surfing once. He's stand-up paddleboarded once. I'm like, okay, so you ran one time. Like, these aren't your hobbies if you're not doing them.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't mean you're unmatchable, but you're going to get way higher quality matches if you have things that you enjoy and that you're passionate about and that add to your life that a woman can maybe join in on. Maybe she brings her own things. Maybe that she just wants to hear about, if you're just sort of like drifting along, that's really unattractive. And other times guys get in a relationship, maybe they have hobbies, they have friends, they get into the relationship, they stop investing there, they become lazy. And then, 5-10 years down the line, the woman's like, what the hell? Like, what, like, this isn't who I married or who I signed up for. Like, where did your hobbies go? Where did your passions and interests go? And so I think that's a really important thing. And that goes for both men and women. I work with men more. So like that's top of mind. That was your question. But I think making sure that you have a life that's interesting to other people, both before and after you get into a relationship, is essential.
Because you work with a lot of smart guys, right? So
Yeah.
it seems like this guy was the one that analyze what a good answer would be
Yes.
or what would sound like an attractive thing. So he's done it once. So it's like, it's technically true.
Yeah.
But, obviously the critical thing is that both women and men, they want to see and envision a life that they can join.
Yeah.
And what life would be like if they were part of that. And I guess you're saying creating a lifestyle where maybe you're not forcing it, right?
No, you're doing things that you genuinely like.
Yeah.
Like whatever that is. You're not doing, I'm not picking up yoga because I want a woman who also likes yoga, or Pilates or whatever. It's, I'm finding things that make me happy because that's going to help me be more confident. It's going to help me be a happier person. It's going to give me things to talk about.